Hey guys, what's going on? Fuck the Women's March. That's the end. Okay, end of video. I'm totally kidding. I'm not gonna curse anymore. I just wanted to get that out the way. But I look at this march or these marches that are going on across the country, and it's just such a degradation. To me, it's a degradation of women because it's concentrating on the dark side of women, the side of women that, you know, shows us as complainers and whiners and control freaks. And yeah, how are you supposed to take people seriously when they're wearing a pussy hat on their head? Seriously, I mean, I don't get it. You know, then you have all of these men that are following the women like lap dogs. It's so embarrassing. Like they might as well just get a dog, you know, like it's the guy that's like the yes dear guy. I call him the yes dear guy. It's like, yes dear, like anything she says, yes dear, yes dear, yes dear. So it's like these men have been like, you know, emotionally castrated as they walk around with these control freak women who are expressing the perverted side of femininity. They're not exposing, they're not espousing, they're not part of the divine feminine, you know, that shows women empowered and happy and nurturing and loving and giving. You know, they're promoting things like abortion, which I don't judge people that abort their children because I think we've all been brainwashed to believe that it's okay. And I don't, you know, they make it seem like it's not a big a deal. So they don't talk about the psychological and emotional problems that women have from abortion. They don't talk about the problems of being more susceptible to depression and cancer, and they don't talk about the fact that the dead babies are kept alive for a long time before they're using vaccines or food additives or makeup or any of that stuff. I mean, those not only is that like a moral thing, but I would say it's also a biochemical thing, because even if you're using the baby, you know, the aborted babies for stem cells, that still has complications. And I think a lot of women that do get abortions aren't even aware that that's going on. They probably think that their baby's just like, it's dead and they throw it away. They don't know that their baby's being reused. To me, it's really disturbing. But that's not talked about. And they would say stuff like, oh, you know, it's just a clump of cells. And, you know, even when I was like rabidly pro-choice, I wouldn't say rabidly, I would say pro-choice, more pro-choice. I would say that, like, I would say, I knew that, you know, life had to begin in conception, because if you are having an abortion, you're physically stopping something into growing into a human being, so you're killing it. Whether you want to argue it's a full baby or not or whatever, you're still killing it. So I never fell for that. But my ex-boyfriend actually got me in a lot of the pro-life stuff. I remember he posted this picture on Facebook. It was showing how late-term abortions, how they basically just dismember the baby. And they basically had tongs and going in and ripping the baby's arms off and ripping the baby's legs off and then just pulling it out and crushing it, just ripping the baby limb from limb. It looked terrible. I remember I actually had nightmares about it. Or a nightmare about it. But they, you know, they don't want to talk about this stuff. And if you even have a question about it, or you want to, you know, have a conversation or a discourse about it, they get really defensive. And to me, that's not feminine. That's not empowerment. You know, it's being a little girl. So then you have that, the abortion thing, then the fat pride thing, a lot of the SJW logic and the feminist support fat pride being no matter what size you are, you're beautiful. I'm like, well, you can say yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But when you're like a BMI over 30, you know, you're putting stress, it's physics, you're putting stress on your organs. You're more susceptible to diabetes and heart disease. And, you know, most people that are overweight are depressed because biologically, people aren't attracted to people that are overweight. So, and then the people discriminate. I'm not saying that you deserve to discriminate, but, you know, it's not a good thing. Like, I believe in plus size models. I know my ass is skinny. I don't believe everybody should be skinny mini. I think we do come in different sizes as women. And I would say it's the same thing to people that are very skinny, like that are like anorexic. I think it's just as unhealthy. So you have to have a proportionate weight to your height, and that's what makes you healthy. Right? You don't have to be thin, super thin, but you have to be healthy, a proportionate weight to your height, so that way everything's balanced out and you don't put stress in your organs, which therefore gives you, you know, a higher chance of getting diseases that are related to being overweight, you know. But I still look at this stuff and I understand why some may go MGTOW, you know. And I think now the world is very gynocentric. I think at once it was very phallocentric. I think everything is a balance. I always say this, it's a yin and a yang. So when, the world was phallocentric and everything was, out of balance and men were ruling and then, things were bad and it was bad for women and men. And then the same thing now, it's like the opposite, gynocentric. Even though they're protesting how bad things are for women, how bad are things for men? Really? Yes, there are always going to be people that discriminate against you because you're a woman, because you're black, because anything. But you're not going to, there are laws against that if that really happens. They don't talk about what the pay gap, that men get paid more because they get paid, they do higher job, they do more dangerous jobs, right? So it's so funny, I was listening to, I think this one guy, I forgot his name, he was talking about, can the injuries be as equal as the pay? Because men get injured more on the job because, they take the tougher jobs. Like, I don't want to be freaking, I don't want to be like fixing a roof. I don't want to be, like shoveling snow. I don't want to be like a hunter. Forget that, yeah, man, please take those jobs. And I'm not even trying to act like I want equal rights in that sense. I'm just like, do it, please, So, I'm all turned off. I made the video about Bon Iver and him supporting the Women's March, and it just made me sick. I was just like, no pussy for you. I shouldn't say that, but anyway, that's how I felt. I just wanted to put that out there. I would like to see more women empowered and feeling good about themselves and knowing about health. You look at The View, and it's just a show that totally disempowers women and keeps them angry and bitchy and, I've been cursing again, okay, bitchy and angry and, empowered and playing the blame game and, controlling, and it's just such a horrible representation of women. I don't like that. I don't think that's in our best light. That's who women should be. So I see these women marching with pussy hats on their head, and it's embarrassing, and I don't want to associate with myself with that. I don't feel like we have to march. Plus, it just seems like these marches have turned out to be anti-Trump protests because they're mad because the evil, crime swindling, murdering Hillary Clinton didn't get in office. But yeah, that's supposed to be empowering to women. Doesn't matter that she's a murderer, that she has embezzled money, that she's looted from money from countries that she's stolen. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that she's a woman, and that's empowering. So that's it. All right, you guys. Peace, truth, and love. Bye-bye. Mwah.